And it's tails, Graeme. Judd to break. First frame.
Thank you very much, Hazel, and
Judd to break.
welcome to everybody at Barbican Centre for what should be a fascinating encounter. Really looking forward to this one. Judd Trump, of course, very exciting, open and attacking. And that's not to say Graeme Dott can't be when he gets going, but you'd say he's the grittier of the match players. And good to see him back out in the arena, Stephen.
Yeah, and this is the sort of match that Graeme Dott would be really up for, playing against one of the high-profile players of today's game. He'll really be up for the challenge.
Well, that's an excellent shot from Graeme Dott. That really is very good. I mean, the break from Judd was awkward. But to play that off the two cushions and get the cue ball there was an excellent shot. You could see Judd appreciated it. Ooh, got a little lucky there. Slightly too thick. Seems amazing to think, Stephen, that Judd turned pro in 2005. He's been around quite a while, and really, these are the the UK and the Worlds and the Masters is what all the big players are judged by. He has managed to win a UK, but you would think his record would be slightly better than that.
Yeah, when he lost in the final to John Higgins of the World Championship, I think most people in the game, myself included, thought he was going to be a future world champion quite quickly. It hasn't happened. But in terms of snooker talent, there's very few better. Cue power to die for. In his first round match, he couldn't get close to a long ball. His long potting was, for him, way off the mark. I know his opponent didn't put him under any pressure, so perhaps the concentration wasn't up there, but you would think possibly yesterday he spent a lot of time in the practice table.
Yeah, it's interesting you say that. For the likes of yourself, if you turned up at a tournament and people often say, don't they, with the golf things, if you turn up and it's not there, you won't find it on the. But sometimes you can't you? Just putting a few hours in on the practice table and something clicks and all of a sudden your long game can return. But it's not how you want to start a tournament with your long game so badly off.
Yeah, particularly when it's a part of his game that he relies on to get in, to create the chances to win frames in one visit. Major part of his armoury. That was an excellent safety shot by Judd Trump there. And it's forced a mistake, but first glance and the wave of the hand from Graeme proves he's got away with it.
Yep. 1-all on the lucky stakes, that's for sure. Just be playing off this red below the pink spot here. Just got to make sure you get a good cue ball. Slightly thicker than he would have liked. Hence the cue ball pulling up there.
Well, there's a choice of 3 or 4 reds here to the left corner, but it's finding a path with a cue ball.
I suppose we'll also see whether that long game's come back, won't we?
You see, he always aims on the right-hand side of the cue balls. He looks at it and swings the cue across, and well, already that's a big improvement on his first round. Great pot. I mean, look at what he's leaving. This black's not a gimme. It's a nice shot as well. So first scoring opportunity to Judd Trump.
8. Nine.
That was well controlled as well, so he's played very good long pot, but that was lovely the way he played that and come through the gap.
Cushion first, though. I was starting to play a cannon on the left of the black, the red to the left of the black. Yeah, that one there. Could have played it either way, cushion first or directly. So
16.
now this red will open the black up to both pockets. So after 3 or 4 good
17.
positional shots, he's made this into a decent chance. From his first match, I can tell straight away by his body language, John, and his look in his face. He looks much more focused already.
Yeah, I think he knows he's got to be.
24.
Greatest respect to his opponent in the last round. This is a big step up, playing against Graeme Dott. You certainly know what he's capable of. You don't reach 3 world finals if you don't know your way around a snooker table. Of course, he was a champion as well. To win it in an epic match with Peter Ebdon. Well controlled. Had to play that with a little bit of check side there. And what's been noticeable this week watching the matches I've seen so far, that the cushions are bouncing very uniformly. That was a candidate for a pinger there if you weren't careful, but they've been bouncing really nicely this week. Lovely bit of check side just to hold it up. May have to split the reds here. Oh, and that'll do.
32. $33.
So, because this break's been pretty awkward with the positions of the reds, we've not even noticed that's 5 reds
40.
and 5 blacks, John.
Well, didn't want to say anything.
This might be the end of it here. Is he going up for the blue? No.
41.
Priority, of course, is certainly in the first frame of the match. Just make a frame-winning contribution. If you've got a chance to go for the maximum, great, but make sure you get up into the late 70s or 80s. Get the frame on the board.
48.
It'd be some effort to make a maximum from here, the way the balls are positioned. Certainly those 3 on the left-hand side are going to be problematic, so just win the frame first.
It's been an excellent start, though. Really has. All from that long red.
56.
A little stun through the gap of the reds. Any contact on one, he could have finished on nothing there.
Yeah, he's got the table straight away, hasn't he, with that shot? Just got to be careful here not to get the cannon on the red that's below it. Yep, that was the one.
57.
Didn't need that flick.
Still on this black. Just play it with maybe a touch of left-hand side. Well played. Well played. And has he got an angle in the thread to the right centre to come back to the black?
64.
Maybe not. Maximum's over.
Well, that's telling me straight away that he's focused today, Stephen, because he didn't even
65.
look at the red in the middle to go across the table. It was all about making the break, getting over the line and winning the first frame, so he's thinking clearly. You wouldn't have refused it though, would you?
$70.
I certainly would have had a little think about it. I'd have been tempted. As you say, it's a
71.
sign that he's come out to win this match today.
Sorry. 78.
Highest break at the moment, 142
79.
by the Welshman Michael White. If this pink goes in, it's in danger.
$85. $86.
Yes, there's been a superb contribution this, but at the opening red was the one that set this break up.
93.
Right in the centre of the pocket. A little bit of stagger there on the cue ball. Couldn't hit that any better. Oh, it's not to be.
We'll check
But
92.
what a fantastic start from Judd. That opening long red. Wonderful positional play. And his first frame with a break of 93. He leads 1-0.
Frame 2. Graeme Dott to break.
Oh, they're far too modest in there. He hits the ball pretty well. Don't worry about that, Alan. Always has done. But it is interesting the way he sort of sights. We'll see it again with this one, but it's basically people have one eye stronger than the other as well, don't they? And it is left-eyed, so it's what you see. But it is about timing. There he is. He's on the right of the cue ball again.
What you get with Judd Trump, obviously the way he cues, and if he doesn't time it properly, he misses long shots by a mile. He either gets them or misses them by a mile. There's never really a sort of get close to the pot. You see a long way off.
Be tempted by the double here, Graeme. Only one he could really leave. Well, worth a shot. Although if it passes the blue, which it certainly does, between blue and yellow, Judd will be taking this. There's a chance missed that. That was a very big chance to There's a natural angle just to spin it and get on the blue half ball, and he could have come into the pack, so it was a bigger chance than it looked.
Glue this cue ball to the ball cushion. Well, he hasn't done. Although it's pretty close, it just makes this shot so much more comfortable.
Not really particularly close from Judd there, but I don't think Graeme's looking at the red in off the other red in the middle pocket, or is he? Might be. Has it in the other corner, up into the yellow pocket as an option, but straight in as well. In off the other one.
One.
Yeah, because the pink went, it was worth it. Good shot.
Yeah, clever little shot, wasn't it? And there's actually an excellent positional shot to get that stun run through the cue ball, because you're concentrating so much on putting the red up the other red, you can forget about the positional side.
Give me a second, please.
So pink is going to the back of the pack there, won't fit on the spot. So Graeme will be looking, there's a pretty big target there. If he can get on the yellow, well, he's got a choice of brown, green, any of those ball colours, and leave a half ball angle.
8.
That's a pretty big pack to go into. I'd absolutely love the yellow here. I think that side of it, the left-hand side, is lovely to come into with a bit of pace. Just how he sees it. Some people go the other way, but the pack is lovely to be hit here. Be surprised if he doesn't hit him.
Foul.
Well, that's a poor shot from Graeme. He didn't get
8.
anything into the cue ball there.
Judgment 4.
Need to hit that much lower. I fancied the yellow, but he's down there playing. But whatever you do with that shot, you've got to get into the cue ball more than that, Graeme.
One.
Well, no prizes for guessing what Judd Trump's going to do from this blue. Again, it's a big target. Those 4 reds across the top of the pack. In the middle of those, at pace, reds should go everywhere. Hit them perfect. Hit them absolutely perfect.
Yeah, he hit them perfect, and he'll love the fact that
6.
red got a double kiss on the left-hand side. When these split up, watch this, the way it gets a double kiss, because it puts the red in a perfect position. Coming off the cushion, it's going to go into the pack. Watch, bingo. That's absolutely lovely.
7.
Yes, takes the back one of those 2 reds. That, of course, opens the pocket up for the other red. And a little cannon here up into the cluster of 3 would be very nice to keep for the red on the right-hand side nearest to the cue ball. So this is an excellent chance. He had 1 or 2 shots at long pots in the start of this frame, didn't get particularly close, but now got the chance close in to score a few.
21. 26. 27.
Wiped its feet. Just slightly lost the cue ball last couple of shots. Okay, shouldn't be a problem to get it back. Well struck.
30. 31.
'He's played that perfectly. Thought he might have played a cannon into these two reds.
37.
But he's just dropped on this red with a perfect angle. Just to drop on the pink. I did mention at the start of the match that before the match started, could Judd get a quick start? And he is doing. He's a very good front runner.
Yeah, just hit that last red slightly too hard, leaving himself a slightly awkward angle.
$44.
Got to take the outside red now, not quite far enough with the cue ball. Wanted the red on the right of the two in the middle. That's a very good recovery shot.
45.
That was as good a shot as he played in the break.
$50. 51.
Well, this is certainly not what Graeme Dott wanted to see in this match. I mean, he's far too experienced to
57.
for any alarm bells to be going off yet, but he wouldn't want to see someone like Judd Trump get into a flow.
58.
Yeah, not panic yet, but 3-0 might be. So he knows how big the next frame is going to be. This one looks like it's gone. 60 ahead, 51 remaining. Just
64.
drop the red in the middle.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah. Well noticed. Slight mistake from the ref there. Being that used to put
65.
the pink on the black spots, he did it again. Yeah, he's already tuned up a
70.
lot better than the other day, that's for sure.
71.
Looking in very good scoring form.
$78.
Well, no century
Judd
again in
Trump,
second
78.
frame, but breaks
And
up
the
93 and 78. Very impressive from Judd Trump so far. He leads Graeme Dott 2-0.
Frame 3. Judd trying to break.
Yeah, this is a massive frame coming up for Graeme. I mean, you can't say he's done that much wrong. He just really hasn't had his hand on the table yet with any decent chance. Judd's long red in the first frame was excellent, and then once he got in the second, he's made a frame-winning contribution. So it's not like he's done a massive amount wrong. You can see 175 points to 8, but it's just he hasn't had any table time.
Yeah, I had that shot in the last frame, didn't I? You mentioned, John, the green. He could have taken the yellow going to in the pack. He chose the green, went in off, and you know, you could say that it was, you know, it's a tough game at this level. You know, those are half chances. Those are the ones you have to take. You know, it ended up costing him the frame. You thought there wasn't a lot on, but he sat in his chair.
And that is an excellent safety shot from Judd. That's one thing that definitely has got better. When he puts his mind to it, he can play good safety. That's sure. You know, it's difficult sometimes when you've got that much power in your armoury and that much scoring ability that sometimes you think maybe you don't have to play a bit of safety, but that was very good there. And he's forced a mistake from Graeme. He knew he was in trouble there.
I don't know if this red has got too much angle to hold for the black to the right corner. And you could possibly drop it in and cannon the red that's closest to it, leave the black. But I think he might go for the gap and go back up the table. Yeah, that's what he's done. Well,
Foul.
I don't think he played the cannon in the black, so
Graeme Dott 7.
error. Now this is a chance for Graeme Dott. Yeah, I think he's playing for the gap here.
Mind you, at the same time, he's unlucky to knock it in. But anyway, it's happened, and this is the first chance Graeme's had to get his hand on the table with a decent chance in amongst the balls. Got to score.
No, that wouldn't have filled him with much confidence, the way he hit that black. He almost missed it.
8.
Sometimes that can sharpen up your concentration to get away with one.
9.
Now he's left a decent angle, as you say, Stephen. There it is. We've used all the jaw there. Should really be going into the pack here. Got the red on the right hand side. You've got to be on that. Get some balls in play. Didn't hit that exactly how he would have liked, but it's turned out
16.
okay.
Yeah, I think today the only way he's going to put real pressure on his opponent, Graeme Dott, is if he can win frames in one visit. Even if he wins frames taking 2 or 3 chances, it's not really going to put tremendous pressure on Judd Trump.
17.
Nothing puts pressure on your opponent more than making him sit in his chair for one visit.
Yeah, the last red Graeme played there was a good one to get out of the way. 2 reds on the left hand side by the pack will now both pot in the opposite corner, which is what he's just played on now. Well, he's played on an area really to give himself options, but because he removed that last red, this one now goes. So it's turned into a good chance, this.
He still doesn't look composed at the table for me. He looks a bit edgy. He's sort of willing the pots in. You can see this one. He almost misses this as well. Bit of body movement there. Just needs to calm down a bit. Strange shot.
Yeah, his cue action just looks a little bit on the short side at the minute, like he's a little bit anxious.
I mean, you have to think he's not even playing to cannon the pack, the speed he played it at. He must have been trying to cannon the red that's closest to the cue ball. Just don't know what he played.
This could work out all right for him, though. He's on a plant at the back here. He can be made. Got to take it on. Just double checking on it, but you can play this nice and firm, screw back, open all the reds out, and as long as you make the pot, which you should do, makes the chance even better. Yes, I got a little bit fortunate there. It was a poor positional shot. Great to see the plank go in for him. And now one good pot on the blue, and it should be his frame.
Blue ball.
Again, not perfect position. Still got to play a shot here.
38.
Just one perfect positional shot away from this being an absolute frame winning chance. And that should be it.
Yeah, he had a little wobble in the middle of this break, didn't he? And he lost the cue ball for a while, but he's got it back now. And this will settle him down. I agree with you. Winning it in one visit, Stephen, makes
44.
all the difference. Also shows your opponent that you're capable
45.
of scoring on the day. Judd's been very impressive so far, but it's his turn to watch now.
Yes.
You see the black leave the bed of the table there. Again, not ideal on this red.
52.
So 3 or 4 pots away from securing this third frame.
53.
That little shot there suits Graeme Dott's cue action, doesn't it?
Yeah, and no excuse now. I mean, this is just bread and butter to a top-class professional like Graeme is.
58.
Certainly doesn't waste much
59.
time when he's in the balls, Graeme Dott. He's known as quite a sort of dogged competitor, but when he's in, he's quite a fast player, really.
I think it makes a difference to his game as well, Stephen, if I'm being honest. I mean, there was a couple of seasons where he went a little slower and it looked more like hard work for Graeme. When he's at his best, this is what he plays like. Because he is a fluent scorer when he gets going.
67.
Yeah, I think he actually became a better player after he won the World Championship. He speeded his game up, became more aggressive.
73. $74.
Yeah, so after Judd knocked the black in off that long red, Graeme got his hand on the table. He'd been
79.
coming saying, I need to win this in one visit. And that's exactly what he's done. Averted a potential 3-0 deficit with this contribution, so good stuff from him. He'll be more confident. Unlucky, good try that. You do well to pop one for me. Need a fluke. Hard as you can, Graeme. You might get it.
86.
No, it's not there.
Graeme Dott.
Well, that's a fabulous break from Graeme Dott. Just when he needed it. Could have been going 3-0 behind. A wonderful contribution of 86, and it's 2-1 to Judd Trump.
8-4. Graeme Dott's a break.
Well, sadly for him, he didn't hit the middle of the cue ball off the break. But he's got very lucky. Brought the red up the table and managed to snooker Judd behind the yellow. So once again, not close with the long ball. Chance for Graeme.
One.
Well, if you think this doesn't mean anything to Graeme, that's just from a poor break-off.
Queen ball.
Yeah, you don't think it means anything to the players, and he once smashed his cue in a motorway services, didn't he, when he'd got beaten in a match, so that's taken it a little badly.
Yeah, I mean, I think everyone in snooker knows how much Graeme Dott would be up for this match today, but that just proves it, that reaction. He absolutely believes he can beat Judd from today. So, decision, Brown into the bunch. That's the shot.
I was going to say, would you play for the brown? Some players would play for the loose red, wouldn't they, above the pink, but then you've got to go into the pack a bit later.
That's okay. He didn't hit the red that he intended to on the bunch. He didn't hit the main bunch, but he'll be quite happy with the result.
9.
You see, he just catches one of the outside ones.
Yeah, absolutely the right shot all day long. Playing
10.
there. This is a tricky little black. This will tell us whether Graeme's totally settled down.
Yeah, you just play this with a little dab of left-hand side, don't you? He's just not got that cue ball on a string. The break in the last frame was a fine
17.
break, but 2 or 3 times he wasn't in perfect position to rescue the situation. It's the same here. He's just having to play good shots all the time.
Yeah, it's just hard when you're scrapping for breaks all the time. Either you want the cue ball perfect. Interesting, the break of 86 from Graeme in the last frame was the highest of he's made in the tournament this year so far. And of course it was the first frame that Judd has actually lost because he's had a couple of whitewashes. But you do need that cue ball to be nice and tight. This is not straightforward. Obviously you wouldn't expect him to be missing the pot, but the position here is awkward.
Yeah, he's almost too straight to go round the angles for the blue to left middle. That means a chance he could play a cannon on the black, but yeah, it was awkward. And all caused by a
Graeme Dott.
very straightforward
17.
shot in the black. Concentrating on the check side there, weren't they, John?
Yep, and of course on these cloths, where there's very little nap, the side can throw off and not come back, and that's exactly what happened there. He'll be kicking himself, he really will. Nothing worse when they've all been there for you, and you present them to your opponent.
Well, I presume the red to the right of the black doesn't go to left corner, so that would be the red he would be playing for. I hit that nicely.
Sure did. Played in an
6.
area, of course, leave himself couple of options, that one on the left and the one you can see through the gap at the bottom of the pack there.
Seven.
That was nicely struck and nicely played. A little bit of run inside there as well when he came, just to guarantee he was going to be on blue or both colour. There's a bit of work to be done with this. A few balls in the open, we know, but not easy to score as yet. Just looking there, if he landed on the red above the black, he could pot it and play a little cannon and flick the other red away. Don't know whether the cue ball's come down far enough. Oh, maybe it has.
$11. The trump 11.
It was tricky, but I still thought he'd get it.
Yeah, it's cue ball control that's letting both players down at the moment. Not getting pinpoint position.
One.
Yeah, not the best opening shot of the break from Graeme, that one. The one shouldn't have been leaving himself straight on the blue. Okay, shouldn't be a problem just dropping this one in, but we would like the position to be a lot easier.
7.
Okay, leaves himself
14.
half ball on the black here, a little screw shot and take the red out on the right of the 3 if nothing pots. That'll be nice.
$15.
Yeah, the way those reds were, he couldn't really play the shot I was mentioning there,
22.
so he had to go into them. I think he's going to be all right. It's very tight. Might be one you have to flick a bit of side on. Although the way he's looking at it, he should be okay. What do you think?
Yeah, when you're putting side on it, you normally just like to play a follow through, don't you? But he's got to stun the cue ball to get position. Never in doubt.
Funny, innit? It was a much better shot than it looked. Absolutely nothing, but we knew what was going through his brain there.
Yeah, it's one of them shots you look at it for ages, and then when they go and you're so relieved, isn't it, when it finally goes in?
Yeah, you're just glad that the side hasn't done anything funky, throwing the ball off. I have to say, this is a
31.
cracking match. It really is. Very high standards in the scoring. Okay, 1 or 2 positional lapses, but certainly made it very interesting.
You can see from that picture there, those 2 reds together both go to right middle, so if he gets an angle on the black now, he could just stunt.
38.
Maybe have 2 cushions, try and get to that left-hand side cushion for a choice of those reds. High in the black would be ideal.
39.
Well, looks not a bad angle just to screw back. Leave one of those reds to right middle.
Yeah, the speed of both players, they're getting on with it. Match so far only taken 42 minutes. I mean, we've had matches this week here, and the first frame's taken that.
46.
So it's been very good indeed. Great to watch. He really is a gritty competitor, this boy. He does know how to compete.
52.
Nice bit of check side just to give him perfect position in the black. Screw back, take that red off the cushion. What a shot. Really, it's been an excellent standard, these first 4 frames.
61.
Top quality snooker from both players.
Yes, and if Judd didn't know he was in a tough match, he does now.
66.
This has been excellent from 2-0 down from Graeme Dott.
68.
I mentioned in the last frame, his highest break of the tournament so far was 86. He's going to beat her here if he clears up.
71. $75. 80. 86.
Brilliant 4 frames of snooker, 2 90 breaks, a 70 and 80. The frames are shared, 2 each.
Yeah, what you'd say, Hazel, is more of the same, please, because that was absolutely fabulous, that opening session. Breaks of 93, 78 from Judd, and 86 and 93 from Graeme Dott. Very entertaining it was too, and a really quick match time. Yeah, 44, and the average frame time, well, very quick indeed at 11 minutes per frame. So keep that one up, we'll all be happy.
Oh, what happened there? An extra bit of side. Cue ball just took off the top cushion. There you see he's putting extreme right hand side in it, and watch it off this cushion. Still had loads on.
He'll be kicking himself with that one, because that was a massive mistake. I mean, look at the back of the pack there he's got to go into. So Judd's got to re-establish himself in this match. Raced into a 2-0 lead, as we mentioned. Have to start scoring again.
Wasting no time. Trying to open up the bunch of reds, stunning the cue ball until rather than the screw shot, because the screw shot would have brought the cue ball back towards that right corner pocket. Played that with loads of drag. It was almost impossible to hold for the blue to the middle.
Yeah, that was an excellent shot, and he's actually a little bit unfortunate to finish betwixt and between there. Okay, with Judd's capabilities, you'd fancy him knocking this blue in, but cue ball finish could have been easier. Excellent.
$14.
It's always nice when you're a scoring opportunity at the beginning of the frame, blue, pink and black, all available. So red just at the top of the bunch, near the pink spot he's played for, to the left corner.
20.
Slight grimace there, it's obviously not ideal in this red. This can go wrong sometimes.
$21.
I was looking at Graeme, there's a slight shake of the head there because Judd's overhit that by a mile but landed on a perfect angle on the green.
Yeah, it's not great, is it, to watch sometimes when you're sitting in your chair and you think, oh, he's made a ricket there, and all of a sudden you look up and he's plumb. So I got a little bit fortunate there, but Graeme's opening shot in this frame was very poor, and he's sitting in the chair because of it.
$25.
So Judd just moves ahead on the points scored. Total, nothing to separate these players so far. It's pretty much been, you make a mistake, it's going to cost you the frame.
$33.
$68 points
39.
required to mathematically win the frame. Oh, has he underhit that? He has, by a good 2-3 inches. He's blaming a contact on the red. Let's see. Did sound a wee bit heavy.
Yeah, he missed the black earlier on this afternoon. Okay, cue ball was slightly closer to it. A little cut back. Missed one before into the same pocket, so need to do better here. And he's hit it to the same jaw again.
Judd Trump. 40.
He did break a 40, but he will be kicking himself if he hasn't got more there. Yeah, very tricky little shot that. Easy to dab a bit of side on. Cueing across the ball like that. Oh, that's a great shot. That really is a great shot.
1.
Cued that so well. Just enough cue to get through the ball, but not to send it all round the table. Really well controlled.
$3.
Still going to need a couple more reds, so it's a chance to screw this and flick one of the reds out if he wants and stay on the black. Yep, that's what he's done. Put it into play.
11.
Yeah, took the opportunity
12.
there to develop the reds. I mean, the two that are on the right-hand side of the table, of course, aren't really that good for Judd because he's left-handed. So it's a flicker red out there. Didn't want the flick, but how's it worked out? Well, if it goes, that's not bad.
17. Judd Trump, 17.
I'm a bit surprised he didn't just play for the pink to the same pocket there. He wouldn't have had to hit this to red anywhere near as hard. You see the path of the cue ball going. He could have left himself a nice angle in the pink to play for, well, any of the reds. Strange choice for me.
Yeah, I mean, the thing is with that shot, if it either goes or it doesn't it? You know, it's playing it that way was making it a little bit more difficult. Talking about difficult, if Graeme Dott takes this on with the rest, this has got to be accurate. This is tough.
In the end, hit it very hard. It's a very tough shot.
I think he was playing the safety. Wasn't much to aim at there. Catch the near jaw, it's not going in. Don't want to hit the other red, so not surprised. But where it finished, he won't be too disappointed. There's a miss hit from Graeme. Knew immediately, as soon as that had contacted the object ball, the cue ball was going to be wrong. So he's given Judd a little chance. But it's one of those little chances that may turn out in your favour because he's taken it and now missed. You're back at the table.
Want to take the risk of going up and down and perhaps moving these reds. Well, he didn't. He played with the left-hand side.
One.
Something Graeme has to do is obviously make sure he pots a colour with each red, being 56 behind.
Yeah, it looks a little unpromising at the minute. Okay, there he is, 50 behind, 59 remaining. But if he can pot this red and just come down the table a little further and leave an angle on the black, you've got a chance here to pot the black, move a red off the cushion, maybe develop two of them into play and stay on the other one. So this is not totally forlorn if this goes in. Well, there's there. That's a great shot.
8.
Now, all about the cannon here. Which way would you be playing it?
Well, I was just thinking when he cannoned that red off the cushion in the last frame, when the frame's already won, it always goes right. He desperately needs a good cannon here. Now you're right, if the red that's closest to the cushion, if he cannons that the left-hand side, half ball, he could take the other one off as well. But I think I'd just be concentrating full ball the cannon, the red that's closest to the cushion, and leave the red to the left middle. I think try and get too clever with this, it can go wrong.
Yeah, I see what he had a little look, didn't he? Lined
50.
up before. He was trying to play the back one. and just to leave that shot down the cushion. But I'm with you, I'd have been going the other way there, I think. It's going to have to be one good pot to score here. I think it might be a safety. And not a very good one, if truth be told.
Graeme Dott.
Should have had that cue ball a lot near the bottom cushion. He's still in the frame. Wow, what a try that was. Had a few wobbles in the jaws.
Drops on foot.
Wasn't easy, that.
There's a bit of pressure on this. This is frame ball, but if he's playing it with stun, he's obviously going to leave the cue ball down this end of the table, so it could leave Graeme Dott an opportunity if he doesn't make this pot.
Yeah, one of those funny situations as well. He's got two reds he can look at here, and he's just umming and ahhing about which one to take. So it's looking like this one down the right hand side.
I mean, with his cue power, could easily play it and screw the cue ball back into bulk if he wanted.
Trouble with that is, though, it makes the pot much harder, doesn't it? So decisions to be made. Here we go.
In the end, he played it in such a way that he knew the pink was going to cover one red. Pretty close.
Now, what you can guarantee here is this red's coming off the side cushion. If Graeme can get the cue ball in the balk area and line it up with the green, and, well, he's hit it far too thin. Had to be thicker than that, Graeme. He knew straight away as soon as he hit it. He needed to line the red up that's near the blue behind the green. Hasn't done it, and given Judd a really good chance. Okay, it's not a sitter, but he shouldn't have been looking at it.
You know, I just had a feeling with that shot. And Graeme Dott has played 2 or 3 really poor safety shots. And what a chance he's got now to pinch this frame.
Yeah, it's amazing. Sometimes you play the best safety shot of the match and you can lose a frame off it. And then other times you play poor ones and you keep coming back to the table. He's one good shot away, which he's just played, from a very good chance. And this will hurt Judd if he clears up here. There ain't no mistake about that. He should have won this frame.
Yeah, the psychology. Top match snooker. Judd will be absolutely devastated if he loses this frame. And on the other side of the coin, if Graeme doesn't take this opportunity to pinch it, he'll be devastated.
Yeah, Stephen, as you well know as well, if you're going to win these big tournaments, it's winning the frames you shouldn't win when they all add up at the end of the week. That's why people end up lifting trophies.
9.
Nicking games like this, oh, so nice of you, Graeme Dott. Can he do it? Couldn't have played that much better. Here he is, 32 behind, 35 on. He can play this and screw up for the blue. Win the frame by a point. Good pot required with this. And it's there.
15.
And this is a magnificent chance for a clearance from nowhere.
I'm looking forward to Graeme's reaction, John, if he pinches his frame.
20.
You always know what Graeme's feeling, good or bad.
22.
I can tell you what Judd's will be. He'll be devastated. Mind you, he's just been thrown a semi-lifeline because he's overscrewed the yellow. He shouldn't have been anywhere using a rest after that shot, but he is, so just got to be a little bit more careful. May have to play this green with a touch aside as well. He did, but he played it beautifully.
25.
Just widen the angle to make sure he was definitely on the brown.
$34. $40.
So just this black for a tremendous steal from Graeme Dott, and this will definitely hurt Judd Trump. Should be 3-2 in front, but now he's 3-2 behind. What a clearance from Graeme Dott. Once again, signs of that gritty competitor we know he is. A wonderful 47 clearance, 62 points to 61 he nicks it, and he leads by 3 frames to 2.
Frame 6. Graeme Dott to break.
Yes, and I mentioned earlier in this match, when it was 2-0 to Judd, it was a massive frame for Graeme Dott to win the next one. Well, it's a big frame now for Judd. He doesn't want to go 4-2 behind to Graeme Dott. And that'll help. Excellent opening pot. So fascinating frame coming up.
Three. Four.
Once again, he's got one of these little cutbacks on the black, and the two he's taken on so far this afternoon, he's missed both. And they've both been to the near jaw. That one didn't miss. What a shot that was.
Yeah, he needed to play this a bit more positively, didn't he?
11.
Great shot. Very good shot. So aggressive. As you say, John, a black that he's missed twice and by a mile. You wouldn't have thought so, the way he played that.
Yeah, the only downside there, he's left himself on a red in the centre, but the black doesn't go in the top right-hand corner pocket, so position's slightly awkward. May have to take the one at the back and power through this. Just needs a little bit of luck to land on one, which he hasn't.
12.
It didn't look like he had to hit that hard. As long as he got the top spin on it, you thought the cue ball was going to keep going.
And that one shot has completely changed the complexion of this frame. If you've got plum on the black, it was a magnificent chance to go 3 each, but now it's going to be a lot of hard work.
Just 12.
Don't know how Dottie's nerves is, but if he could play off the red on the left-hand side and leave the cue ball down in the jaws of the yellow pocket, that's one shot, although I'm pretty sure he's not going to fancy that at the moment. It's one of those ones, if you were forced into it, you might play it, but at the moment, he may think it's not the percentage. Don't blame him.
I don't know if he's deliberately left Judd a tempter to the left middle, but he has got one. That was Judd looking at the shot that you mentioned, John.
There we go. Let's put it down there. How's the cue ball? Well, it isn't where he wanted it, but good luck with this one. This is a proper test.
Yeah, how do you fancy playing this one slow across the table for blue or black to the left corner, blue to left middle?
All I'll say is, Stephen, if he knocks it in, he deserves everything he gets from it, because this is really tough.
He actually can maybe play with a bit of pace for the black to left middle. If he's got the right angle, that would certainly make the pot easier. Dropping it in dead weight's horrible. It wasn't easy. He didn't really make a good effort at it.
Yeah, the only thing you can say about it is he's hit it so poorly that he's made it a little bit more awkward for Judd. They're horrible shots. I mean, we mentioned it before he played it. You can quite easily miss those. So you'd fancy Judd to get this thin clip in the middle, but it's not a certainty. There you go. It wasn't. And once again, a shot that Graeme Dott hasn't played particularly well is going to pay dividends because he's back in again. So it really is a strange game at times. What a chance.
I was watching Judd when he went back to his seat. He was absolutely furious. He's in a, Alan McManus mentioned how much Graeme Dott loves a dogfight. Judd Trump is in one now. How much does he want it? Big question being asked of him as the top seed in this tournament now.
Nine.
Mind you, there's also a slight question mark where Graeme's concerned. Hasn't been out here in the main auditorium, certainly in the last couple of years or so. And he is at the moment. We know he's got great experience, but you've still got to keep on doing it out there. And he's not really been in this situation for a while. I have every faith he's still got it, but you've got to go and show it. And sometimes you can get a little bit excited
16.
by the fact your opponent's missing a few. So he's got to keep himself together
17.
and do what he's good at.
Twenty-four. Twenty-five.
Come a little bit straight on this black. Yeah, can't really screw back because he'll get a cannon with the red that's closest to his cue now. So he had a look at just coming back a couple of inches and playing the red in the middle, but really that's not ideal. That shot so much more difficult. That's all he could do. So he's tried to hold the spot. So he hasn't got a problem with the cueing. And if he can drop this red in the middle,
32.
well, the black's available. This is the most important shot on this break, because if he gets it in, he's got a wonderful chance to win the frame.
33.
Well cued. That was excellent. That really was. And he had half a pocket to aim at there. Well, his bottle's still intact, Stephen.
I think Graeme Dott really relishes being the underdog.
40.
And really coming out against a fancied player. He'll sense that he's got Judd Trump on the
41.
ropes at the moment.
$48.
Yeah, you just got to be a little bit careful with this. Thin clip into a blind pocket. You see the players go around and have a little look and see the angle.
$49.
Yeah, well negotiated. So it gets slightly more difficult position-wise in a minute.
$56.
So a couple of reds and colours away from taking a 4-2 lead. And whilst the clearance in the last frame was excellent, this break likewise has been excellent. Very good indeed. 94% pot success rate is top class. That'll win you lots of matches. He's just come a little straight again on the black. He's or just off straight, not on the ideal angle.
64.
Well, he's been excellent with the rest so far this afternoon. There's another one coming up he's going to need.
Graeme Dott, 64.
Probably would have been game ball. But as ever, when it is and you miss, you usually stick it up, which is what he's done here.
Has he got an angle to follow through, take the other red off the cushion? Obviously not. He felt it was worth a risk to try and move the other one, which he hasn't done.
One.
At least he's on the black of sorts.
Yeah, of course, problem he had there, didn't he? He was desperate to get a ball off the cushion, but he just got to imperative to land on a colour because he needs the points. Another black off the spot missed. I think he's probably missed more of those this afternoon. He has all season.
One.
Oh, that puts paid to this frame. So 4 frames in a row for Graeme Dott.
Eight. Graeme Dott, 8. And the
Judd
frame.
Trump just nods his head, stays in his chair. The question to be asked of him now. He trails Graeme Dott 4 frames to 2.
Yeah, it only looks like one winner at the minute, Stephen. It's Graeme Dott. He looks like he's got the bit between his teeth. And ironically, he's played a couple of poor shots and ended up getting in off them. But his opponent, Judd, has, well, he's had 1 or 2 tricky shots, but he's also not really got position on a couple of times. One of them in particular, where you questioned the way he played this.
Yeah, if I've got a criticism of Judd Trump and his cue ball control, he overhits quite a lot of shots. This one, you can see the shape of the pack. You think as long as he gets nice topspin and hits it nice, he doesn't have to play this as hard. I know he's scared of leaving the cue ball, you know, tight to the right hand side cushion, but the imperative is just leaving yourself a pot in the black. Hits it very hard. And you see, just lands nowhere.
He had quite a big margin for error as well, didn't he? It wasn't like it was just travelling, it was going to go across the table and back, so slight misjudgment there, but he just looks a little bit out of sorts at the moment.
Yep, body language isn't good. You know, when he's missing, he's looking under pressure now, and he is under pressure, there's no doubt about it.
Yeah, if we thought the last frame was big, this one's huge. I wouldn't fancy him at all. 5-2 behind. Interesting thing now, of course, the match has panned out as, yes, we've seen Graeme today, he's been very fluent in scoring, but he also has the luxury of being 4-2 ahead, and if he wants to have a scrappy frame, he can have one. It's not him playing catch-up, so at the moment he's in the driving seat. He won't mind which way this match goes. Judd's desperate to get in and score heavily and reduce his arrears, but from Graeme's point of view, he can play how he sees it.
Yeah, as I said before, how much does Judd Trump want this title? How much is he prepared to dig in now and fight for this win? Big questions for me being asked to Judd Trump now.
One.
Well, when you hit it well, you tend to get a bit of luck, and that was a lovely little kiss, but fantastic opening pot. And there's a couple of reds available for Graeme. One at the back of the pack certainly goes. And one over the middle, so if you can just leave this a little bit low, you can pot this and bring some reds into play.
6.
He looks good.
Seven.
That was a lovely shot. Really well played. Nice and controlled. Look how many reds came into play there.
Yeah, this was, what would you say, sort of stunned the cue ball into the pack there.
13.
I think you mentioned earlier, John, it's about can he keep
14.
that excitement in check, you know, remain in the moment. He's not been in the big stage that often in recent times, beating one of the premier players, you would say, in Judd Trump.
19.
But at the moment, the composure is there. And you have to say, the way he's been
20.
playing the balls, you'd expect this to be 5-2 now.
Well, if he's not on a red there,
27.
well, he has got one cut back into the corner, but he'd love to be on something easier. He's just put his positional play out of kilter. You would expect him to get this, but when you've had a plan and it's got to change, sometimes you can miss. But not there.
28.
Very good.
$33. $34.
That's well played as well. Nice touch. He's looking good, he really is. Must have seen him play for a good while.
$42.
Everything's going in the middle of the pocket now. We mentioned early on in the match it was one or two wobbly shots and off the jaws, but it's nice and clean now. And he's walking around the table like he's extremely confident. Good to see.
$47.
Just a little bit low there. I thought the way he played it, he was playing on the bottom red, but he needed about 3 or 4 inches up on the cue ball for the red in the middle of the pack below the pink. That's the one he played on. Obviously it's still pot, but position is a lot more difficult. So it may have to take a red in the middle instead.
$48.
Another great shot. eventually got round onto that red he played on before.
55. $56.
Well, he keeps on finishing awkward on colours and reds, but he just keeps on potting balls.
63.
Just the sheer determination.
Yeah, 63 ahead, 75 left, and this is probably going to be the important shot here. Needs to get a good cannon to get on a colour. It's not straightforward.
64.
Oh, well played. Hit that lovely. And this is definitely frame ball. This goes in. He's 5-2 ahead.
Brilliant. He has been a brilliant break straight from the opening red.
72.
Now surely from this position I'm going to see the first century of this match. Oh,
Graeme Dott.
what a shock.
72.
And Judd
And
Trott
frame.
remains in his chair. It's another one visit framed by Graeme Dott. Extends his lead and needs just one more to beat the top seed in this tournament. Judd Trott leads 5-2.
Frame 8. Graeme Dott to break.
Yes, interesting stuff as ever. And what he can't afford to do is miss. I mean, scoreline is 5-2, obviously, because Graeme's played very well, but he's lost 2 frames today, Judd, from missing shots in frames when Graeme's played poor shots. Graeme's been back at the table straight away. Yes, he's got severely punished, but ultimately it was him who missed.
Yeah, that 5th frame is looking more and more like the turning point in this match, isn't it? Judd Trump needed 1 red of the last 3. Had a couple of chances at it to go 3-2 up himself. And since then, well, he's just... to be frank, he's folded a bit to me. I mean, imagine if you put a player with Judd's talent, John, with Graeme Dott's fighting ability. Pretty much unbeatable.
Wouldn't fancy playing him, that's for sure. There really is nothing like confidence, is there? I mean, he's starting to knock in everything now. Graeme's playing in the standard he was playing when he was reaching world finals. He's been that good for the last 3 or 4 frames. And this is something else you get. You know, he's just a granite match player on top of being a very good fluent scorer. When he's at his best, he's a match for anybody, which is what Judd's finding out this afternoon. Great percentage that is. Pot success 93. Very high.
One thing I agree with Al McManus, Judd's body language doesn't inspire you much confidence that he can come back into this match. He may prove me wrong, prove everyone wrong, but at the moment,
Foul. The miss.
I don't see it.
Graeme Dott 4.
No, obviously very tight, red into the corner, in the centre pocket I should say. Very tight, because the red is the one he wants to pot. He's decided he doesn't fancy that. Getting back into that.
Foul.
Wow.
And a miss.
That was the ultimate mistake.
Graeme Dott 7.
And then as you come off and hit the black, you've chipped it in the pocket, put it back on its spot, and left Graeme with a simple red. Wow, it couldn't be any worse if you tried.
1.
He's finished straight on blacks a few times today, Graeme Dott.
It hasn't been stopping him though, has it? He keeps finding position,
8.
he keeps going on. And but that shot Judd just played there, goodness me. I bet you can't believe the way that turned out. Once again though, Graeme's just slightly lost the cue ball. A little bit too hard. Doesn't want to play a cannon into those 2 reds above the black. If he kept the cue ball nice and tight, he wouldn't have had to.
Yeah, if he plays a little screw shot into the left-hand side of the first red, he can leave the second one into the right-hand corner. Now he's playing topspin, so we'll see how this ends up.
Yeah, clever little shot, wasn't it, the way he played it?
16.
So he's gone up the table, had a chance of the one in the middle, but he's come on the back red.
17.
Yeah, I mentioned the shot that Judd played there, Stephen. I mean, unbelievable how this happened. I mean, to come round, okay, it's a bad shot. You shouldn't be going anywhere near the black, but not only does he hit it, pots it, puts it back on the spot, and leaves him right on a red. I mean, goodness me, when it's not your day. That was an excellent shot. A little bit of stun run through, just a bit of side, just to hold it up. Very good at those type of shots. A little bit slightly awkward, and he just keeps knocking them in and keeping going. Needs to get to 76 to get over the line in this frame. And this is the important shot. Well, he's got an... Let's just see which way he goes about this.
32.
The red at the top of the apex does pot, so we want to go up and play for blue instead of pink. Just needs the cue ball to
33.
run a bit. Yeah, he's got it. So he'll play on that red, leave it a bit short so he can pot the red and bring some other reds into play. Well, he's run a little bit further maybe than he would have liked. And he could play a stun just to force another red out.
Again, not dead straight, but finished. Well, not the eyes. Certainly not a natural angle. To play for red to left corner.
Another excellent shot there. One more required here. Just to come out back for another colour. This has been a superb break. It's the circumstances that make this very good. We mentioned he's not been in the main arena for a while. The last couple of seasons hasn't been brilliant for him. But to produce this on a big stage against the top seed in the tournament, this has been absolutely superb from Graeme Dott. And on this form, 52. He'll take some beating. May just have an angle here just to flick into the pack, bring another one in play. There it is again. This has been excellent. The shot, a couple of shots ago, he flicked the pack out. One came out. He's done it again there. Perfect position. What a break this has been.
Yeah, fantastic performance. He's just virtually frozen his opponent out.
59.
Fifth frame could have gone either way, but I think Judd Trump scored something like 85 points since being 2-0 ahead.
Yes, after all that wonderful play, just knocked this black in, Graeme. No heroics required. Well, didn't get the cannon, but he won't be unduly worried about that. 79 ahead. Okay, 67 remaining. Judd won't concede, I wouldn't think. Disappointing for him. Out of the UK Championship. Oh, and he is conceding. He's had enough. So here comes the handshake.
Graeme Dott, 67.
You can see Judd Trump and Graeme Dott. What a fantastic result from the Scotsman. He was brilliant this afternoon from 2-0 down. He's won the next 6 frames. Well played, Graeme. He beats Judd Trump, the top seed, 6 frames to 2.
brilliant victory from 2-0 down. You went out of the arena. What were you telling yourself at that point?
Just don't get beat 6-0. I actually felt quite nervous at the start. I had a really good chance in the third frame, where it was my first chance to settle down, and I played a black off the spot. It was the very first
Just
shot.
went in, did you? Yes,
I don't know how it went in, and it was such an easy shot.
You're doing nothing with the white.
I'm doing nothing, and I thought if I'd missed that, it could have been a nightmare after that. But I settled in eventually.
I mean, in the whole scheme of things, as you know, you're experienced enough that it's just one more win along the way. It doesn't prove anything. But from a point of view of the fillip to your morale, when you're trying to get back to the sort of top-class standard in the game and keep on, proving you're winning, it is a great boost, isn't it? To get a performance like that on the TV table must be marvellous for you.
Yeah, I mean, it was actually great just to be back.
Yeah.
Playing on TV, it just feels so much better than playing in the back in the outdoor table.
Yeah.
I mean, I know Graeme really well, as we know, but Graeme's saying it's so much better out there, but it's also so much easier for someone like you, isn't it?
I think it is. I think that everything, you play a safety shot and the white goes where you expect it to go, and when you're playing on the outside tables, it's not quite the same.
But we've all been in the situation. We've been away from the sharp end of the game for a little bit. We've been away from the TV tables. It's easy to forget what it's like out on that TV table. But when you got your chance, you absolutely grasped it. It's a little like you switched to switch going back to when it was the World Championship performances.
Yeah, I've been playing well. I said after my first match here, it's the best I've played in a few years. So I've been working quite hard with my game. I've been working hard with Chris Henry. And I'm getting the rewards for it now.
We were going to ask you about that, actually, because Alan and Steve were talking about the fact that you had... Well, it was a disappointing season last season, albeit that you did manage to get through the qualifiers, went to the Crucible, took another scalp, as you always do. But what did you work on over the summer, Graeme? What's made the difference, do you think?
I think I was just getting a bit disillusioned with the game. I can't complain that I'm on an outside table, because my rankings mean I should be on an outside table. But it's just very hard to get motivated to play when you go in and there's nobody there to watch. And I'm falling further down the rankings. And then I just wasn't practising. I wasn't doing anything at all. I had no practising whatsoever. So when I went to see Chris, it gave me something else to try, and a different way of playing. And it gave me something to practice on.
I was speaking about it. You played with basically a cue ball for a week, wasn't it? And just trying to find the middle of the white and be able to hit it. Where are you with that?
I'm still nowhere near it, probably. I'm probably nowhere near as I would like to be.
Is this true, Alice? Is this true? You just had one white ball for a week and you didn't have any other balls on the table, you just hit the ball up and down the spots for a whole week? Is this folklore? Is this...
Just a little bit, maybe not quite as much as that, but
I feel like
wasn't far from it.
Less life than I have.
You always embellish these
You're
stories.
trying to take over my nicknames and
I thought you would
everything.
like that story.
I love it so much so.
I don't actually use... very rarely do I use playing ball when I'm actually playing. I'm always using me a little bit aside.
But it's nice to know where the centre is.
Exactly, that's what it was for. Because before I saw Chris, as Chris would say, I was completely uncoordinated. And now that I feel a little better.
And now you're into the last 16. It's the first time for 3 years since then. And actually, Graeme, when you look at your progress in this United Kingdom Championship, it's probably been the weakest of all the majors. Is there a reason for that? Is it just something you failed to get to grips with over the years? Or?
I think I got to the semis one year.
Yeah.
Stephen Hendry beat us 9-7, but other than that, I've never really done well in this for some reason. I've no idea why. I would rather every tournament was at the Crucible. I'd maybe do a bit better.
I'm sure everybody is very glad that it isn't when you're around, that's for sure. But looking forward now, it's going to be either Leanne Wenbo or Stephen Maguire. How much optimism do you take into the next round after a performance like that? Yeah, well,
it's nice to kind of be back playing on TV, and it was obviously nice to finish the match out like that as well, which gives you a lot of confidence. So I'm not really bothered to a player. They're both fantastic players.
Well, let's just update everybody on how that's going. We'll say thank you very much. Good luck for the next round, and let's have a